Imagine seeing a river split in two and watching half of it just disappear. That's what you're going to see on today's video as we hike to the Devil's Kettle, the North Shore waterfall that looks like it eats half a river. The Brule River splits and one side drops like any other normal waterfall, then the other side spins into a pothole and seems to vanish. And that's where the stories start. Is it a secret tunnel to Lake Superior? Is it a portal? There's a lot of campfire legends and stories. We're going to get to the bottom of all of these. The hike itself is a blast. Forest, river views, a big stair climb that wakes up your legs. At the overlook, we're going to settle the big question. Is the water actually disappearing? I'm going to go all the way dangerously close to the edge to find out. Let's go hiking at the Devil's Kettle. Before we get into geology or dimensional portals or what cubic feet per second is all about, let's first go over the trail stats. The trail's name is the Devil's Kettle, and it's located in Judge C.R. Magny State Park, and the trail length is 1.9 miles with around 383 feet of elevation gain, and it's rated moderate. It's not a bad trail. I found it to be relatively easy to do. It was pretty packed. There was a lot of people doing it. Plenty of parking, easy to get to. But now let's get into what is it? What is the Devil's Kettle? The Devil's Kettle is a unique formation on the Brule River where it hits a rock ledge and splits cleanly in two. One half drops in a classic 50-foot waterfall and heads towards Lake Superior like you'd expect. The other half spins straight into a deep rock cauldron and seems to vanish. Yes, that's right. I said half of a river seems to vanish. Stay tuned and you can watch this river splitting phenomenon yourself. It's really, really cool, and I get as close as you possibly can without falling in. If you're just here for the waterfalls, skip to around the 6-minute mark and you will see those. But first, let's go over the history of the river, the history of the Devil's Kettle, the history of all the attempts to solve this, and what exactly is the controversy that, in my opinion, still lingers somewhat. Scientists say it's solved, but I'm going to say solved with like a small asterisk, so let me explain why. There is not a Paul Bunyan-sized amount of history about the Devil's Kettle. We don't even actually know who named it that. All we really know is the park stairs were built in the 1930s as part of the Works Progress Administration projects. In 1957, the Brule River State Park was created, then renamed in 1963 to Judge C.R. Magny State Park. The Ojibwe name for the river is the Burntwood River. Then the Voyageurs renamed it Brule, or Brule River, right? Burnt. But the Ojibwe didn't have a name for the Devil's Kettle or the unique pothole itself. But around the 1930s, we know tourists were coming to visit because the WPA crews had cut the stairs and the trail that made the falls easy to visit. The modern nickname Devil's Kettle doesn't show up until the late 20th century in guides and media, but we have no first use or namer documented in public sources. Now that we've covered the history, let's go over the missing water. Where is all the water that is going inside of this cauldron disappearing to? Some of the folklore says that there's a gateway to the underworld, a hell mouth. And this is a local joke that it's a literal portal and the devil grabs whatever goes in. This we're going to mark down as a campfire joke and tourist lore. Another story is that it drains into Lake Superior through a secret tunnel. This is actually a popular belief that water goes underground and pops out somewhere in Lake Superior, sometimes even claimed in Canada. That one's repeated in roadside pamphlets and travel blogs, apparently, but again, no proof. So we're going to mark this one as also inconclusive with no evidence. A car went in once. Yes, that is a reoccurring rumor that someone pushed a car or a snowmobile into it and it vanished. No evidence, never documented, but it is repeated. A snowmobile I could see getting pushed in there. A car would be a lot more difficult, but theoretically someone could possibly maybe get a snowmobile there. So that one we're going to say maybe, right? Just because I'm an optimist and I want to say maybe. The river eats its offerings. Some say that the river just eats whatever gets thrown in there, and that actually kind of matches up with some of the science. Because now that we've covered the folklore side of the Devil's Kettle, let's talk about the science once I explain what you're seeing here. After you walk down a huge set of stairs, you're going to see another small set of stairs. This is just a waterfall on the Brule River. It is not the Devil's Kettle, but it is totally worth stopping at. It's a nice refresher, and look, it's absolutely beautiful. You still have another 700 feet to go, and you're going to see on this time lapse. Let's talk about the science of trying to solve this mystery while you get to stare at it from above. Your first view of the Devil's Kettle is from this viewing platform, but from here, even from the distance, you get a really good view of this very unique formation. And on your right hand side, you see the waterfall, and on your left hand side, the Devil's Kettle, the cauldron, where everything just disappears. And I don't know about you, but it looks like half the amount of water is coming out. It does look like half the water disappears. Do I want to believe on this one? Yes, I do. I'm not going to pretend I don't. Visitors have reportedly dropped sticks and allegedly a GPS tracker, but I can find no actual proof of this, but it's on Wikipedia, so I thought I'd mention it. And of course, like I said, someone even alleges that a car was pushed in there. I don't believe it. Here's where the science really gets interesting. In the late fall of 2016, at the suggestion of state hydrologist Jeff Green, 2 DNR experts measured the water flow above the falls and several hundred feet below them. Pretty smart, huh? The 2 readings were virtually identical, 123 cubic feet per second upstream and 121 cubic feet downstream, and they wanted to do a dye test, a fluorescent dye test, but it was not performed, and this was under duress from park management. So the scientists wanted to perform the dye test, park management said no, because while that difference is technically within the range of tolerance for the equipment, it also represents 17 fire trucks per hour. So in theory, if those measurements are exactly right, 17 fire trucks per hour of water disappears down the Devil's Kettle every day. Having stood above, below, and directly next to the actual Devil's Kettle, I don't know. I'm very curious to know what's actually at the bottom of that cauldron-shaped hole you see right there. Let me know your best Devil's Kettle theory in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see everyone out there hiking in the woods. Bye-bye, y'all.